Have you ever been in Goblin mode? Do you know what Goblin mode is? Well, it's got nothing to do with Halloween, and it's really got very little to do with this image of a goblin. There were lots of options for goblins to get on the internet, and I picked this one. It's kind of a scary thing. Could care less about himself. Maybe that's where it gets the name. I don't know. I don't know exactly where the name originated from, but Goblin mode is not where you want to be. I'm just saying. You don't want to go into Goblin mode. So here's a couple of definitions of what Goblin mode is. And what this morning was prompted by an article that came out last week about sliding into Goblin mode. And here's a couple of definitions. The first is this. Goblin mode is a full-on rejection of self-betterment. The exact opposite of what I want this weekly thing to do. It's all about self-betterment. But the full-on rejection of self-betterment is like sitting around in your jammies all day long, binge-watching whatever it is you're binge-watching, eating Cheetos and not even using chopsticks. That's right. If you're going to eat Cheetos, you can, little tip on the side, you can get rid of Cheeto finger and hone up on your chopstick skills by using a pair of chopsticks to eat Cheetos. Yes! It sounds like I was in Goblin mode when I discovered that. No, I just ran across it once and I said, that's great. So if I eat Cheetos, I never have a problem with my fingers because I use chopsticks while I'm binging. And using chopsticks would actually be considered practicing something, getting better at something, so it's not really a total Goblin mode. And so maybe you've gone into Goblin mode for a day. Maybe. You know, I'm done. I'm out for the day. And you sit down and you totally veg. You binge watch something that's absolutely useless, like a bad movie, and you just watch a bad movie. Just watch a bad movie. That would be a bad thing. But, you know, the full-on rejection of self-betterment, you may slide into it for an hour. You may slide into it even for a day, and then you slap yourself upside the head and you go, oh, I got to come back to it. I got to come back to reality. The full-on rejection of self-betterment, Goblin mode, is when you're doing that for days or maybe even weeks or, sadly, maybe even months, and that would be terrible. Absolutely terrible. Here's another definition from someone on TikTok who I think her name is, I forget her name. My apologies. Goblin mode is kind of like the opposite of trying to better yourself, which is almost trying to make yourself worse on purpose. Like not eating a few Cheetos, like eating a few bags of Cheetos. And just sitting in a room and doing nothing and filling your mind with nothing but garbage and nothing but negative and filling your body. So mentally you're just, wasting away mentally, but physically you're wasting away too. You don't exercise, you don't do anything like that, period. So that's Goblin mode. Goblin mode is the opposite of trying to better yourself. Now let's talk about early detection. Yes, early detection. A lost sense of purpose. Now, I was in this spot. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was in this spot. I had a total lost sense of purpose to the point where I asked God to take my life so my wife would have insurance money. I was at that point, and I slapped myself upside the head and very, very, very slowly pulled myself out of that concept. But early detection is just a lost sense of, what am I going to do? How am I actually making an impact on people's lives? Am I even helping anybody? So a lost sense of purpose is one thing. Another thing is feelings of hopelessness. Now, we all have some senses of feelings of hopelessness. When we look at the economy today, the world situation today, the political situation today, all kinds of things, we can have continued senses of feelings of hopelessness. It is hopeless. And but if those feelings continue day after day after day after day, this is early detection. Then you're just going to slip into Goblin mode, and you don't want to stay in Goblin mode. You may slip into it for an hour, but smack yourself out of it. Find ways to smack yourself out of it. We'll get to that in a minute. And the third thing here is just a lack of progress. Maybe you are trying to get ahead and trying to better yourself and trying to better the people around you and trying to better your business or trying to better your influence and impact. Maybe you're trying to do all those things and you just have a sense over time of just a lack of progress, and then your progress slows because you're not trying, and you just don't see the progress. You don't see the progress. When you go to the gym for the very first time and come back, you don't come back and look at yourself in the mirror and go, wow, I've really made progress today. No, the fact that you went means you made progress that day. You're not going to see results after one day at the gym, or maybe even 1 week, but maybe very slowly over time, 6 months, you will see progress. You have to keep at it. So that's early detection. You have a sense of a lack of progress, you have feelings of hopelessness, and you have a lost sense of purpose. So let's defeat the goblin. Let's defeat goblin mode. Let's defeat this guy. Let's defeat this guy. First, waking up with purpose. Wake up with a sense of purpose every day. And sometimes you have to slap yourself into it, which is a kind of John Acuff's book Soundtracks. Talks about getting up every morning and talking through some specific things. I have 12 things on my screen. When I turn my computer on, there's 12 things and I read through them. So I have 12 statements, and it came from the idea of John Acuff's book Soundtracks, where you get up and you kind of like play something in your head. Do you have to be reminded of your purpose? Yeah, sometimes you do, because sometimes you wake up and you just feel bad from square one. You had a bad night's sleep, something, but you want to wake up with purpose. You have to have a reason to get up in the morning. When you don't have a reason to get up in the morning, guess what's going to happen? You may not get up. That's a bad thing. So that's one way to defeat the goblin mode. Another one is action before feeling. I exercise 3-4 times a week, and every day, I do not want to do this. I do not want to exercise. I don't. I'm done. I'm out. I don't want to do it. But action comes before feeling. You got that, right? Action comes before feeling. You don't feel good and then do it. That comes with almost any job. You don't wait. I'm going to wait until I feel good about it before I go to work. No, then that's you're being fired. Let's just be honest about that. You have to act, and then it feels good. Now, I never want to exercise, but I do it, and then when I'm done, I go, wow, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I got that in today. I feel better. Action comes before feeling. It's not feel good. It's not feel good, then do it. You do it, and then you feel good. And the third thing is become others focused. You don't just get up for your own self. Have a reason to get up that is focused on others. I get up and I take care of myself and I do things for my wife, for my daughter, and for you guys. I have a sense of purpose with regard to these things. I become others focused. So waking up with purpose, act before feeling about it, good about it, and become others focused in what you do. And that almost comes down to like a daily habit. Let's think about that. Let's think about a daily habit. So, take on a challenge. I have a challenge for you. I dare you to do this 70 days in a row. Okay, this is something that I give out. Soon it's going to be something that you're going to have to pay for, but right now I'm going to give it out. But take on a challenge, and this is called the 70-day dare. I dare you to do this 70 days in a row. It explains everything in there. It's create a habit, track it, make it automatic, and you're only 70 days away from actually creating a habit. Now, they say for some people, habits vary from anywhere from a habit becomes automatic in some people as low as 28 days, and for other people as high as 250 some days. But the average is 66 days, and I added some days in there just to make it 70, because the 70-day dare sounds better than a 66-day dare. It's a little harder to say, too. So where are you going to get this? You can get this at billmcconnell.me/70dd. And it is a 70-day dare, and I would love for you guys to jump in there and grab that. I've done this several times. I continue to do it. When I get through 70 days and the habit isn't sticking, then I do another 70 days. So I've done 70-day dares for things like 1 minute exercise, which is the longest minute of my day. I've done this for things such as drinking 80 ounces of water every day because I would rather drink coffee, which maybe you understand. So there's so there's things like that, and if it doesn't stick for me after 70 days, that's fine. I've done it for 70 days, but I'll do it again until I make sure that it sticks. Maybe I'm one of those guys that takes 250 some days for a habit to stick, versus a person that only takes 28. So BillMcConnell.me/70DD. Grab that, and if you would, wherever you're watching this, give it a like, give it a comment, share it with somebody. That'd be great. And if you happen to watch on something where you can subscribe, then don't forget to subscribe. And I would appreciate that, just to continue the process. Now, that being said, get rid of the goblins in your life. Sometimes you just press the wrong buttons, but that's okay. Don't go into goblin mode. I'm Bill McConnell. Once you conquer yourself, everything else becomes possible. Have a great day. Have a great week.